Hello, okay, so in this video we're going to look at how you can take a Chrome extension that you have working on Chrome and adapt this so that you can actually use it on Firefox. So we're going to start with one of the extensions I made in a previous video where we just injected content into a page using a content script, and we're going to go through what you would actually need to do to get this to work on Firefox. Now there's a few tools and things that you can use to get this working, and I'll show you this throughout the video. But let's start by just going to Firefox and showing how we can actually add this extension in right away. So here we have Firefox. This is version, what is this? 88. Okay, so it's quite a new version of Firefox. And all you need to do to begin with is go to the menu at the side here and go to add-ons and themes. And then you want to click onto this little settings box up here and click onto debug add-ons. So this is how you can actually begin to add your extension into Firefox and test if there's anything you need to change or if it would just work straight away. So what we need to click onto here is load temporary add-on, which is similar to developer mode on Chrome. And then this is a folder that I have an extension in here. So if you watch the previous video that I made on injecting content, we did one for manifest version 2 and version 3. For this video here, I'll just use the manifest version 2 option. And then all you need to do is just open that folder and click onto a JavaScript file from inside here, and then just say open. And as you can see now, it's added this into Firefox. So what this script does is it adds a little div at the bottom of each page. So if we just go to a website now and see if this is working. So here we are on this site. If we scroll down to the bottom, you can see down here that the element has been added. So it has a little bit of styling there as well. So we can find that this extension is actually working. But you can actually inspect this as well. So if we click this inspect icon, we can get into the background script if it had one, but you can see here we don't have any background scripts for this extension. If you go back, you can see the manifest URL. So here's the manifest for this extension here. So we have our content script and our CSS file. But that's part one of what we'd actually do here. So what we'd need to do next doing this is to check if there's any parts of your extension you need to change. So if we look at the code for this extension just here, so if we go back to this and type in content script.js, we can see our content script looks like this. Now, if we're using our background script option instead, so if I go over to this one and remove it and load a temporary add-on, background script, version 2, open. So we've changed this around, but you can see we have warning details here, which is to do with the slight differences between Chrome and Firefox. But if we were to look at this one here and inspect, because we have a background page now, we can see what's actually going on. There's a couple of little errors just here because of the differences. Now, if you have issues like this, there's a useful tool that you can use, extensiontest.com, and select the Chrome extension file. So to do this, we need to go across to Chrome, go to our settings page. What we actually want to do is pack this extension. So we need to find the root directory just here. So it's this one, background, manifest version 2. So we want to select that. You can provide a key file if you want, but I'm going to leave that for now. And then we're going to say pack extension. So what that's done now is it's created these two files. So here's my Firefox video file or folder just here. We have our manifest version 2 CRX, and we have a permissions file, which is basically like a security string you can use for actually authenticating this, but we don't need to worry about that right now. So now we have that CRX file. If we go back to Firefox, if we select it over here, so here's the file just there, if we select that and submit, what this will do is it's going to go through and check if there's any parts of the SDK and the APIs we're using that aren't supported. So as you can see here, if we scroll down, you can see that it's just the manifest file that it has an issue with. Now what that means, if I open up this file, this extension folder in Atom now, so again, here's that PEM file, that's just a key for that extension, and there's the CRX once it's packed up. Also, you want to make sure that you delete any of these DS-store files when you're actually submitting this to Firefox, but don't worry about that right now. So here is the manifest file. Now what we need to do is add a separate object into this file. Now what this does is this includes, it's called browser specific settings. This is useful for adding to Firefox, but on Chrome, you need to make sure that you don't include this. So you need to have separate versions of your manifest file for Firefox for Chrome. So it'll look something like this. So you'd put in your email address just here. So I'll just fill mine in. And then down here, you have to set the minimum version of Firefox that your extension can support. So if I wanted that only to work on the current version I'm using, I could switch that to 88. But if you want to support more older browsers, you can change it back to the default here. But once I've added this in and I save, if we repack this extension, that should hopefully remove that error. Okay, it says it's compatible. We can see our details. There's different issues now. So it says manifest key not supported with this specific version. So we'd need to change it to 48. But other than that, it looks like we should be okay. So that's where you can just find really specific details. But we can see up here is it's compatible. So it's best to look through exactly your specific version here. But for full information on the differences between the two types of manifest, you can find the Mozilla Docs here, which breaks down the different types. So if we have a look here, you can see the different keys that are supported for Firefox. And then here is the actual information. I'll share both of these links here. But in terms of packaging your extension to actually submit it to the web store, you can see the information here. So you can put a zip of these files when you're actually going to submit it. But you need to create an account with Firefox before you do this. But otherwise you can actually submit this very similar to on the Chrome web store. So that actually can be changed there. But as you can see, there's options for both Mac and for Windows. But I'll put a link through in the description to this page. That shows exactly what you need to do. So once you zip that up, you can then upload that straight to the web store. But that covers the basics on how to get started, how you can see which parts of your extension you actually need to change. But if you use Chrome, the different Chrome.tabs, for example, these different parts of the Chrome namespace, Firefox supports this. So you don't have to go through and change each of these, which makes it a lot easier, rather than having to make a lot of these changes. So any changes that you do make are mostly going to be around your manifest file, which does keep this a lot easier. But again, I recommend checking out the extensiontest.com and really taking a look through what your extension does. So you just have to pack this into a CRX file first, which you can do from the Chrome extensions menu. So again, you go over to Chrome, go to extensions and make sure that you pack it just here. Delete any existing CRX or PEM files from that root folder there, or the parent folder that you're using. Otherwise that can just sort of interfere with this a little bit. But once you've got that, you can then use it on extensiontest.com. Really look through the errors there. But if you get the success message, you should be okay. But you can go through then the extra sort of breakdown and find out exactly what is happening. And there's a lot more documentation here. These docs are really, really detailed. They actually have information that can help for Chrome as well. It's where I find a lot of the information when I'm looking to put these videos together. So these docs are really useful, especially for Firefox, but they can help with Chrome as well. As you can see, it breaks down by each browser. But I hope that helps in actually preparing your extension for Firefox. And a lot of these methods will work for Safari as well, even though there's a few differences there. But if you have any questions, drop a comment on this video and I'll take a look. Otherwise, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.